everybody, welcome back. We have some semi-final action for you here on Court 1. Retro versus YWG. Back again with you, it's Emily. And to my left, not Abra.
Hello! Again, I took a half an hour off.
Okay, so across the court from us, we also have Monstars and Vengeance. So if you were tuned into us before, the amazing comeback story of Vengeance against Impact. They now have a bit of a tough road against Monstars, but we've seen some amazing things from them, so we'll try to keep you up to speed on that situation. Retro here versus YWG. YWG is the higher seeded team, but these teams are all so close in skill and ability that we really could see this going anyway. So keep the questions coming in chat. I will do my best to answer them on the live stream where we give you some color commentary here with the game going on. It's been a long day. A bunch of you have been with us since the start, so it's been great to have you. Thanks so much. Carter there from Retro looking for Saphira, I think, on YWG. Not able to connect. For those of you who are not local, YWG is our airport code here in Winnipeg.
Which I didn't know until today.
If you're wondering how the team got its name. Looking to connect with Kopit, missing, but then Kopit on the being able to connect.
Connects.
A nice jump for Oko. Retro down to 3, YWG at 4. So a question in the chat about when do the average Joes play? And that's a really great question. There is a really big dodgeball community here in Winnipeg, recreational and otherwise. This is the men's provincial qualifier tournament, so the teams that are out here today are the guys who are looking to represent Manitoba in the nationals and then represent Canada on an international level. So these are guys who came to play.
And these are people who play proper dodgeball, not what average Joes does.
We're like
Sharma's taken out.
Not necessarily Globo Gym,
Global Gym, yeah.
bad guys, but definitely take it pretty seriously.
Just terrible offensive structure in those games.
Oko gets connection there. And down to just one on the
Kevin Harder, the captain, is all that remains. He's a good man to have on the court because he might get you a catch.
Yeah, Kevin Harder known for good catches, absolutely.
Yes. He also is a good catch.
Yeah, he is a good catch. He has a good catch. And
but
Kevin
he
Harder,
got hit.
If he wasn't hit, it looked like he stepped on the line there as well. So Kevin Harder either lining out or being hit out, unsure. Just looking through some of the information here on the chat and giggling away to myself. Let's see if any other questions in here. Hopefully the music got turned off on the live stream for you. If it's still running, let me know. Nate Gatza, captain of Retro, up there not giving that line up to YWG easily. Kopit there was the...
good discipline for Retro there. The
intended target, Jesse Kopit. He was able to get under it. And pegging Gatza off, taking out Gatza and Oko. YWG not giving up an inch to Retro. They know that they're a threatening team. They know that if they give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And so YWG is not even going to let them have a chance to play if they can help it.
YWG's team, game that is all pressure, it seems. They are just about getting you on your toes. And they have the arms that they can do it. They can make you afraid.
LeBears with a huge dodge there. It's got a huge counter rush with a kill to shut that game down right quick. LeBear's a really fun player to watch. Been playing dodgeball for a while, and one of those players that just every time you see him, he seems to be getting better and better.
Yeah, he's always been really good.
Yeah.
So just seeing him from the beginning to where he is now, it's quite amazing.
Handball players. Yes, there are, I believe, some handball players. We do have quite a significant handball league here in Winnipeg as well. And I do know that there's at least 4 or 5 crossover players from handball to dodgeball. But the transition does work a little bit better than baseball to dodgeball. Just the movement movements and the motions seem to lend themselves really well to moving from one to the other a little bit more seamlessly. Sounds like we have maybe a camera got hit, and it's at a bit of an angle, so I'm trying to...
It's a good hit for Retro. They're going
to flag down our production team here. They're not my production team. And see if we can get that angle adjusted on the camera. It's cold in Winnipeg, super cold. Camera might have been hit and the angle is a bit off. Might need to peek at it. Okay, so we've spoken to our production crew. Going to get that taken a look at. Hopefully get that camera angle adjusted for you. But in the meantime, Retro.
Connection on from Harder to Stefura.
And Retro's taking...
And they have taken the advantage.
An advantage here. Oh, but short-lived is...
not anymore.
Some debate in the live chat about whether it's better to be a smaller, agile player or a taller, more powerful player. And that is the question.
I wouldn't really know the answer to that because there's advantages to both, huge advantages to both, you know.
Having long arms, of course, if you're tall with long arms, you can put more power behind your throw. As a smaller, more agile player myself, I can say that it works to my advantage that I'm fast and I can get out of the way a little more quickly of some of those plays. But I don't have anywhere near the power that someone with more height on me would have. So I guess there's pros and cons to each.
I've seen some smaller players that do have amazing strength.
Yes.
And they can throw the ball very hard. So and then there's some taller, more agile players who are also very, very good dodgers. You know, so I think Denim Dubak would probably be the best example of that.
Yeah, Denim Dubuque, absolutely. Big catch by Trudell there. Okay, so a question about how do I play dodgeball? What are the rules of this game? So for those of you who are just joining us, let me give you a quick rundown on how this sport is played. It's 6v6. There's 6 balls on the court at any given time. If you get hit by a ball, you're out. If you throw a ball and it's caught, you're out. If you get hit by a ball, it bounces up. It's caught by a player on your team. The player who threw that ball is out. Catching a ball also brings the player back onto your side. So first in, first out rule, which means the first person that's hit out is the first person that comes back in. We are playing 30-minute rounds here for playoffs. At the end of 30 minutes, the team who's got the most points, won the most matches, will win. You are allowed to block, except in sudden death. Headshots are perfectly fine. Throw as hard as you want. And if there's any questions about clarification, just let me know, and I will be happy to tell you all about the sport and answer any questions you have. 1v1 here.
Once again, Sharma is the last.
Sharma, a very, very good player at dodging, getting out of the way of those balls.
Yeah.
Sharma taking a shot, not connecting, backpedaling and getting out of there, looking for that ball from his ball retriever. Not able to get his hands on it. He's a little bit exposed right now with only 1 ball for blocking. Sharma with the throw. He's going to get out of the way and hopefully avoid the hit.
He's going to try and twist that thing in there and see if he can get Chartier on the leg or something. Yeah.
So we've been live streaming all day. So if you're tuning back in from this morning and you're thinking, is this the same Emily as 8 o'clock this morning? The answer is yeah, it is. So thanks again for bearing with me, and I've had a really great time with you guys today. It's been so lovely. So we'll finish off today, one more match after this, and we'll get through this all together. Ball runners are ball runners teammates. Really great question. Ball runners, or we call them ball retrievers, sometimes colloquially known as shaggers. And those ball retrievers are not teammates, but they often will practice with the team and come to team games on a regular basis, because your ball retrievers can really make or break your team's ability to make quick plays, both offensively and defensively. Looks like we got an injury. Oh, maybe not.
Pierre's good to go.
We can have do we have male and female players? Sharma getting a hit there under his block. So another point to YWG. Question in the chat is, do we have both male and female leagues? The answer is yes. The women's provincial qualifiers will be live streaming on this channel next Saturday. So feel free to join us back then. I will not be commentating, I will be playing. However, we'll have some amazing commentators up here for you. As well, recreational leagues have a lot of co-ed teams. So everything from sort of entry-level recreation all the way up to what we call Platinum League. So this sort of level of competition, but with men and women combined. So.
But we definitely need women to sign up because we would love to have single women's teams, and unfortunately, we just don't have the players for it at the current time. I wouldn't say, do we? Or?
When I started playing women's, there were 3 women's teams. And now we've got 8 in this upcoming tournament, so it's picking up, and we're.
But I just mean in the league or whatever, right?
But in league, yeah, we have, we always need more. Rules for 1v1: if it goes on too long, when you have a ball in each hand, match can stretch out a long time. Yes, it can, and it can be really painful for the players. 1v1 only ends when the player is hit or caught, so it doesn't go on too long. The exception to that is at some point you'll time out and you'll hit sudden death. When you hit sudden death, the rules change slightly and you're no longer allowed to block. So that's kind of what happens.
Bit of a mix up there by YWG. Not sure what happened, but
Retro
has all the balls.
Looks like maybe they waited too long on the count. They didn't release in time on their play, and balls came over to Retro.
I think they just weren't paying attention. But it's too bad. Retro really wanted to make some kills there. When you had all balls, you want to take advantage.
Yeah. So rules for timeouts was asked in the chat. There's a couple different rules for timeouts. In this case, each team is going to get 1 timeout per half, and it's 30 seconds. However, we are on a schedule, so the clock runs through the timeouts. So your timeout can be really, really beneficial if you're near the end of a game or something, you want to run the clock, you can call a timeout, the clock will continue to run. So watch for how these teams strategically use their timeouts as we go. Shoes, preferred shoe wear. If you take a peek at what's on court, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff, everything from running shoes to court shoes, like volleyball shoes, basketball shoes, and a couple players have recently transitioned to wrestling shoes or boxing shoes for that really high ankle support. Comes in handy with a lot of lateral movement. I prefer basketball shoes. That high ankle support is really, really good. They're designed for floors just like this, and but to each their own. Looking for a hit on LeBerge, not able to find it. LeBerge getting his all 6'3" of his body behind that tiny little green ball and staying alive on court there. So rules for overtime, we'll get there in about a minute and a half, so good to know what we're up against. Everything will stay exactly the same. Hits count, catches count for re-entry. However, players will not be allowed to block. So a block will count as a hit for those players. YWG looking really solid, going down to just 1 player. Trudell looking to get LeBerge, unable to connect and being finished off by YWG.
In those situations, really, your best bet is to maybe go for the catch, try to get someone back on when you're, what was that, 6-on-1? And I think that's what Trudell had in his mind there, because he just gave up all protection.
So question about, is there one player that all other players fear? Like, are we just horrified?
There's lots of players. I think there's lots of players.
Yep. There's a couple big players on all of the teams here. Men's play.
It all comes down to their throw and how a certain person reacts to it. Like some people can react to certain people's throws better than others, you know. But you take Matthew Pantel right there, who's about to throw. And he got 2 people.
Double hit, yep.
His throw, I cannot read to save my life. And
Matthew Pantel, number 10, is an exceptional player. Invited to play with Team Canada. Was not able to because he had a baby on the way. But if you take a peek out there at how he plays, you'll see exactly why he's a benefit in addition to any team. LeBerge with some big fakes trying to get Williams there to commit to a dodge. They weren't able to connect. Pantel keeping them off their toes. Or on their toes, I suppose. Off their heels. Big jump from Stafura and a connection with Kopit.
Well, Pantel just got hit, but I don't think he knows it, and I don't think the ref saw it.
Cantel asked
Oh, he knows it. He went out.
Stepping off the court.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at sudden death halftime. So everything stays the same. Catches count for re-entry. Only now there will be no blocking. So part of your defensive strategy needs to change because you're no longer allowed to block.
Retro with the advantage here. So they really need this one.
Williams not able to get behind that and out of the way. Nice connection.
Retro has major ball advantage here. They've got to take someone out.
Looking for a connection with LeBerge again, unable to. LeBerge trading.
Trades these.
For Trudel. And we're down once again to just Sharma on Retro.
He's going to start getting tired.
Oh, he takes a dive there, almost hit by Safira. Couple questions about the lines there. Safira with a big throw, and Sunil touches the line. Called out by his team. Lined out.
He lined out. The captain comes forward and clarifies it.
A couple questions actually in chat about lines, so this is an excellent time to chat about the lines in Dodgeball. The lines are the blue lines all around the court. If you step out of the line, on the line, anywhere, even slightly touching the line, you are out. The middle line is the one exception to that rule. On the opening rush, you can slide across the middle line to retrieve your balls. However, you got to get back as fast as you can. The farther you go over the middle line, obviously, the more vulnerable you are to being pegged off by the other team. That second line that you see, one just in from the middle line, that's our activation line. The ball on the opening rush has to come back behind that activation line before it can be thrown at a player on the opposing team.
And that's all that line means.
Yeah, basically stops you from just plowing someone in the face directly from the middle line right on the opening rush.
Back in our rec league days, that line was the line you couldn't throw ahead of that line.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So going for a catch, quite risky. It's a great question. The answer to that is yep. It is a very risky move. It's got a big payoff if you make a catch. Of course, the player who threw it is out, and you also get to bring a player back from your team. The first player who went out, huge dive by LeBerge. Excellent work. But if you don't catch it, then it's a hit, and you're out.
Yeah. You might find most catches are very instinctual.
Yep.
And people just do them without really thinking about them. It's when you think about it too much that it costs you, I find.
Mm-hmm. It can be really, really difficult, especially with some of the velocity and the power behind these guys' throws. You will see, if you tune in next week on Saturday for the women's game, you'll see a lot more catches in women's dodgeball. The throws, I shouldn't say they're not quite as hard, because there are some women who can throw just as hard as these guys. But generally speaking, maybe throw not quite as many ridiculously hard throws. And women tend to be not always better catches, but you get some really strong catchers when you get in women's play. So if you want to see some sweet catches, tune in. Gatsa with a huge block. And LeBerge comes right up to the line, making him pay for getting that close to his team. Other risky moves beside catching. A lot of the risky moves actually in dodgeball involve catching. If there's a block off of one of your teammates or a hit off one of your teammates, going for that diving catch can be a really big risk. Not hard to catch, but if for any reason you miss it, it touches your fingertips even, you're in big trouble, you're both out. That opening rush is a bit of a risky move. The willingness to slide across that line to get that ball back to your teammate. If you're one of the players that's up there, you're almost definitely going to be a target because you're closer, so likely easier to hit. Kopit getting hit there, number 14. LeBerge managing to stay alive. Chartier up, looking for Williams and not connecting. Mendoza.
Retro needs to speed things up a little bit here. If you get to a point where you're down so much, you just need to start throwing balls and hoping for hits.
Looking to connect with Wilmot there. Riel Wilmot, number 42, another exceptionally difficult player to hit. Also no stranger to national play. So asking a little follow-up why you'll see more catches in women's play. Some parts because some of the throws are a little bit slower. There are some players in women's who throw still over 100 kilometers an hour, which is very difficult to catch. Just the evolution of the sport, I think, has placed a little bit more emphasis on catching in women's games. And you'll even see in co-ed games that women are catching these big throws off of the male players as well. Big noise from across the court there as Mark Costas makes a big catch to close out a point against Monstars. It's a 6-1 game for Monstars versus Vengeance on the other side. If the ball is deflected, hits your teammate, you attempt to catch it, but you drop it, you're out. As long as your teammate deflected it with their ball,
yeah,
however,
if they
they're
deflected
okay.
it with the ball, they're fine, but if it hit their body at any time, they are both out.
Mendoza going for Oko, not connecting there. Oko staying alive. Sorry if I'm missing any of your catches. I'm just trying to make sure that I got everybody on here. Does dropping a ball have any consequences? Only if it's knocked out of your hand by a ball that you were trying to block. So it's called a disarm. If you are disarmed, you are out. Not connecting with Oko. Oko connecting with Stafura. Chartier looking for Oko, not finding him, but getting out of the way of his retaliation throw there. 3 balls now. Not connecting with Oko there, Chartier. Cross-court throw. Chartier looking for a catch, making the right choice not to go for it. A couple questions about. Go ahead.
Well, I like that the YWG is just keeping up the pressure. You know, they're not hanging back. They've got the 6-1 lead, but they keep those good habits. You know, of just keep playing their pressure game. That is what is working for them. Is just overpower the other team, make them scared, get them on the run.
And they had Oko back on his heels there. Wilmot finally connected, and they knew with a 3v1 they were going to connect eventually. They just needed to keep at it, and they did. Didn't lose their cool. Did a really great job. Okay, so the folks on the sidelines, who are they? What are they all about? That would be our ball retrievers. Their job is to pick up the balls that go out of bounds and get it back to their team as fast as they can. Ball retrievers can technically retrieve balls for both teams. In tournaments like this, teams bring their ball retrievers with them. They work exclusively for them, generally in a predetermined way that they've practiced and have down pat. So it's part of the strategy of the team. And if you tune in next week for the women's games, you'll see that a lot of the men that are on court right now will be doing ball retrieving for women's teams. So you'll see the women on court, men on the sidelines doing ball retrieving.
I think you should call them by their proper name, Emily.
Locally, ball retrievers, also known as shaggers, ball shaggers. So we've had some zesty commentary going on throughout the day here, so I figure I'd give you a little bit more fuel there for the chat. Safira connecting with Captain Nick Getza there. Concussions are possible in dodgeball. It's unlikely in this league. They were foam balls. You'll see rubber or sting ball games, which definitely people can and do get concussions on a regular basis. You'd really have to crank somebody with one of these to do any damage.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting a concussion from a foam ball.
Not but a bloody nose.
I'm sure it's happened, but
bloody nose, a black eye, but no concussions.
Yeah, but rubber can be dangerous, and
I'm
personally not a fan of the rubber sport because it's basically just catch ball.
It's definitely painful.
They're a lot easier to catch the rubber balls, and teams, they don't dodge, they just go for catches all day long, which kind of defeats the purpose if you ask me.
Dodgeball, not catchball. Yeah, I see. You're gonna make some Sting players angry in the chat there, but
yeah, well.
Trudell with a big catch.
To each their own.
Bringing Captain Kevin Harder back on, and now we've got a 3v1.
All right.
Looking to close out.
Might be a little late now for Retro, but they would love to still get around, you know. Or 2 or 3.
So the balls are made out of foam, and I had a question: do teams sometimes throw the ball in the air as bait? That's a really interesting question.
I think they used to back in the day, but you don't see that very much anymore because people are too attuned to it, you know.
Yeah, and often too, there's actually a rule that you have to put a ball into play for it to change the count. So if you're actually waiting for the burden clock to change, the ball has to not only go across the middle line, but it also has to be put into, like, or every effort has to be made to put the ball into play.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just throw it up into the air or like sail it over the players' heads. It has to, you have to be making a play with it. So it could be done. It's kind of a shitty thing to do. But,
well, I have seen people that they'll have two balls and they'll kind of chuck one to the other player, try to make the other player catch it, and in the meantime they throw another ball and take them out while they're distracted, right? That's, yeah. So it's an interesting concept, but you don't see it much anymore. It's just too risky.
Yeah. Question about, are the retrievers neutral or do they belong to a team? In the case of this tournament, the retrievers are working for their team specifically. They're generally affiliated with the team in some way, have probably been to a team's practice or at least had a conversation with the team about how they're going to run their ball retrieval. So you'll see, for example, the ball retriever on YWG's side wearing the blue tank top, Leah. She is retrieving only for YWG. If a ball goes to the other side, she is not interested in helping Retro whatsoever. Not because she doesn't like them, just because it's not her job.
Look who's last on Retro.
Back again with Sunil. Sharma. Holding it down. Question, can you block with a ball and then catch it afterwards to get an out? Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Or your teammate can catch it
to
get an out. Blocked ball is still a live ball. The ball remains live until it goes out of bounds.
Some people are actually very good at that. They specifically block the ball up into the air with the hope that somebody else will catch it. But you really have to be thinking in that case, and you have to be really coordinated.
Yep, and as you're setting up your teams and you're getting your lines in place, so no hit there, Sharma staying alive, setting up your teams and your positions, often you'll have players positioned intentionally for team catches or co-catches, with players who are in front more likely to block up a ball and pop it up for a catch.
Sharma wants this one.
Yeah, he wants to take Mendoza. Sharma Mendoza going.
Oh, and
Mendoza steps on the line. Lines out. Sharma takes the point. We have 2.5 minutes left. 7-2-1. 7-1.
Do you think you see the line violations more often in 1v1? It seems like you do. I think it ends a lot of rounds, I find.
Yeah, it does end a lot of rounds. I think we're seeing it. We're seeing it from an up angle here, so we can see it a lot better. Green balls and red balls, the only reason we have two is because we've got two courts side by side. So if a ball migrates over from one court to another, it's very easy to tell which court the ball belongs on.
If you can't tell, you shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, exactly. Why do they direct the ball to hand on the back line? The sideline seem. Oh, okay. So on the back line, when the ball retrievers are handing them in, what they're doing is actually putting them on the small of the back of the player, so the player can keep their eyes up. They're looking at the court across from them. If a player looks away for even half a second, they're going to be made to pay for that right quick by the opposing team. On the sidelines, you don't really have the option to put it on the small of their back. In that case, they're probably going to roll it to their player. There's that block and catch that you asked about. Yep. Good catch by Willem. And so yeah, on the sidelines, they're likely to roll it in so that, again, they can keep their eyesight up. LeBear's going for a catch, not able to make it. Wilmot making sure that that line is protected. It's coming back with Grenier. Pentel, Wilmot, and Grenier now looking to end this round.
All right, and we're going to go right to sudden death, it looks like. So this will just be for fun. There is no possibility for a comeback. Yep. If my math is correct, 8-1.
So no blocking, catches count for re-entry. I'm doing my best to keep up with all the questions. Thank you guys so much for all of your interaction. It's been wonderful. Those of you who are saying how much fun you're having, I'm having just that much fun, if not more as well. So thank you for being here with me. It's been a wild ride. One more game to go today till we, or sorry, two more. Nope, one more game to go today until we know who our men's provincial team is that's going to be representing us at nationals.
Looking like it's going to be Monsters versus YWG, which I do not think is a surprise at all.
So for those of you who have been with us since the beginning today, early on, to talk about who did we think the gold medal match would be. I told you safe money would be on Monstars versus YWG, so if you made that bet, then time to cash in. Kevin Harder with a big catch. Grenier takes a hit. Ball retriever takes a hit.
Well, I think JC Morris
no stranger.
can take
yeah,
it.
She can take. JC Morris trained with Team Canada.
Former team, national team.
Yep. And both players ready for a catch. Coopit going for it.
And Brett Janice is playing for some pride here, and they are just having some good times.
Looking for that catch.
Colin Chartier going to go for the catch, I guarantee.
And a hit.
Oh, that hit the ground. Oh.
YWG saying their player was dead first, making it a final of 8-2 for YWG. And as expected, we will see a repeat of last year with YWG and Monstars in the finals.